Today, let's take a look at how to write the rule of a transformation of a radical function. So let's say this is the question we're facing. Let g be a vertical stretch by a factor of 2 followed by a translation 2 units up of f of x equals the square root of x plus 3. Alrighty, so one at a time, let's address these. Our first is a vertical stretch by a factor of 2. So what I like to do is the following. Let's define g of x in terms of f of x first, and then let's put it into practice with the numbers that are f of x. So if we want a vertical stretch by a factor of 2, okay, verticals happen to the outside of the function rather than inside the parentheses. So that means our g of x would be defined as 2 times our f of x. The 2 being outside the f of x is the vertical. If we wanted horizontal, it would be on the inside. And then the other thing to remember is that things that happen to the vertical happen the way you would expect them. Stretches mean multiply, and moving up and down means adding or subtracting. Things happening to the horizon happen the opposite of how you would expect. So if we had a horizontal stretch of 2, that would mean that we would divide by 2. And if we had a horizontal move to the left, that would mean we add 2. Okay, so here we are, our vertical stretch of 2. And so now our f of x was square root of x plus 3. So now we can substitute that in. 2 times the square root of x plus 3. And now we could go ahead and apply that. All right, so that's our first step. That's our first stretch. Now, the next thing it asked us to do is to translate it 2 units up. So that means we would take our newly found function, our g of x, and we would add 2, because again, we're going up. That's on the vertical. That happens outside of the parentheses and exactly as we would imagine. So now we substitute our g of x back into that. 2 root x plus 6 plus 2. And plus 6 plus 2 becomes plus 8. And so 2 root x plus 8 is our new function where we have done a vertical stretch by a factor of 2 followed by a translation 2 units up from this original function. So to review, I find it really interesting to do this step first of saying what I'm going to do to that function and then go ahead and seeing it through. And then what I'm going to do to that new function and then seeing it through rather than trying to do it all at once. So remember, things happening on the horizon happen inside the parentheses. Things happening on the vertical happen outside the parentheses. All right, hope that was helpful. Take a look at some of these other videos. Consider subscribing to my channel so that you know when I've put out a new video. And as always, keep on mathing.